the one thing thang. Now, I live in the South and I'm trying to learn Southern. So it's the one thing thang. Now, here's what happens here. We start with the number 1. Follow me? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure you're here. We're going to do a little math. Times 40 weeks. Now, by the way, the one thing is one listing appointment. So 1 times 40 is?
40.
That would be 40 listing appointments. Times 50%. Because when we go on a listing appointment, one of two things happens, right? We either
take it or we don't.
We either get her or we don't get her, right? Okay, so that's 20 listings taken. By the way, I call this conversion A. Now, I'm going to multiply that times 50%. That's 10 listings sold. And we'll call this conversion B. Because when we take a listing, one of two things happens, right? It either sells or it doesn't sell. So we're going to move that 10 listings sold. Now, blind faith. If you take 20 listings and you properly market 20 listings, meaning you circle knock in the neighborhood, you send postcards, you put it on the web, you talk about it, all the things that you do, you're going to generate 10 buyer sales.
And that's conservative because national statistics are every listing generates 2 buyers.
So this is ridiculous. This is insane. So that's 20 sales times, what's your average sale price? I don't know. We'll just use, for the sake of this example, we'll use $250,000. So at 3%, that's $7,500 per transaction. That's $150,000 in GCI. So let's just stop and think about this for a minute. How many of you in here had a job before real estate? Most of you didn't. You never had a job in high school or whatever? And it was Monday morning at 8 o'clock and you were expected to be at work, right?
Correct.
Did you show up?
Yep.
And if you didn't show up, what happened?
Did not keep the job.
You didn't keep the job, right? So here's your job. You're a real estate agent. Now we'll do this, we're going to do a couple iterations here. You show up Monday morning at 8 o'clock and I give you between 8 and 9. You can get your tea, your crumpets, your bonbons, your Starbucks, whatever. And at 9 o'clock, you sit at your desk and you don't get up until you've generated a listing appointment. How long will that take?
3 hours.
2 hours, 3
2
hours.
You know what? 2 hours, 3 hours. I always hear that number, 2-3 hours. And by doing that one activity, 40 weeks out of the year. Now, how many weeks are in a year?
52.
No, there's really 48. God, every third month, God gave us an extra week to have holidays and vacations. And you know, when we do things, we have a 411. We don't have a 511. We have a 411. So 48 weeks, and then Mark, because I'm such a cool guy, I've given you an extra 8 weeks off. And you're going to generate $150,000 in gross commission income. For a person in this category, this is a 6-figure net income, close, $90,000 to $100,000.
Yep.
And what did you have to do?
One extra.
What was that?
Go get a listing appointment.
40 weeks out of the work 3 hours. Work 3 hours. Now,
Not 3 hours a day.
3 hours.
A week.
3 hours a week.
A week.
A week.
A week. Now, NAR says that 7 out of 10 people only talk to one agent. Every year, same survey. Survey says 7 out of 10 people talk to one agent, which means 3 out of 10 times you're in competition. You're going to go to the Hall of Fame. You're going to bat .333. you're going to get 80% of the listing appointments are going to turn into listings. And when that happens, this becomes 32 listings taken. And now you're in a seller's market. You're going to actually learn to price. You're going to learn price reduction. You're going to learn scripts. You're going to learn dialogues. And the 32, you're going to sell 80% of those. That becomes 26. And the 26 becomes 26. And the 26 becomes 26. And this becomes 52 times $7,500 is at what? $365,000? Did I do that math right?
No, it's more than that.
It's 390.
Yeah, there you go.
$390,000 in gross commission income. How many more hours did you work in a week?
0.
You just got better with the time.
How many more hours did you work? You worked 2 to 3 hours. $390,000 in gross commission income. What would your net income be?
Well, I'd have to hire.
350.
Pick. So, okay, so you'd have to hire an assistant, you'd have some other expense. You'd make a couple $100,000.
Yeah, if you use the model.
Should make 300 at least.
It's 240
Now,
grand.
let's get really crazy. When you had that job, you worked 5 days a week.
Oh, you want me to work 5 days a week?
I'm asking you to work 15 hours a week.
Mark, that's a lot.
I'm sorry, Moses, I hate to really tax you that way. Now, someone do the math. Multiply $1,950,000 times 40%.
$780,000.
How would you like a job making $780,000 a year that the only activity you did was every morning came in and never got up from your desk until you generated 1 listing appointment a day, and you did that 40 weeks out of the year, you went on 200 listing appointments. Everything else in your world you hired out because the 60% I took out of this number handled all the admin, all your buyer's agents, everything. And it's that. Now, folks, what did I just do? What did I just do? What is this? This is the economic model.
The MREA.
This is the MREA economic model turned upside down. This is CGI, the CGI calculator taken to the ridiculous. See, if we bring someone in our office and say, you know, you can make $150,000 a year selling real estate, they'll go, ooh, that sounds like a lot of work. Or you can bring someone in your office and say, if you'll focus on one activity and do one thing, as a new agent, you can make $150,000 in your first year in real estate and you don't know much of anything. In fact, you are substandard. You stink. You just talked yourself out of 2 out of 10 listings. So here's the point in doing this. As an operating partner, as a coach of your team leader, is your team leader able to passionately help someone understand what it takes to succeed? I shared with someone, I did a new agent recruiting appointment a few weeks ago, just for giggles. 10 minutes. The lady walked in, and she was this lady had a great track record, someone you would want in the business. And she looked at me and I said, what would you like to learn from me today? And she goes, I want to know how to be successful in the business. I did this. And 2 minutes later, she was signed up and done. Because I said to her, I said, look, now, we're going to teach you all the skill sets necessary to take the 50 to 80 and the 50 to 80, because you can just be lousy and do this, but what you have to do is do this.
One thing.
One thing. What's the one thing today that what's one thing I can do today that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? So it's kind of a nice closing to the listings piece of this, because here's the thing, we've got all the tools, CGI, Ignite, Bold. Now if somebody goes to Bold, and someone goes to Bold and they sit at the table and they engage, they blow this out of the water. If someone comes into Ignite and you're holding them accountable to the activities, you know, the secret to Ignite is 10-4. The material's fabulous, don't get me wrong, it's wonderful. The person that will succeed will do their daily, I call it your Big 10-4, good buddy. Yeah, breaker. Yeah, they do the Big 10-4. That's the secret to success, it's in the activities. The company, and I'm going to stop on this, the company has doubled in size and your profitability has gone up 450% because of the activity. Because of the activity. We haven't even honed the skill sets. We're getting there. We're getting there. Questions, comments? I'm done. Was that good? Was that good for you?
Yeah.
Okay.